What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to a tier list video, and today we are going to be filling out the 2022 NBA trading block tier list. So I'll leave a link to this in the description below if you want to attempt this yourself. And yeah, there's a bunch of players here that is in this tier list that could possibly be traded at the 2022 NBA trade deadline. And we're going to be going through all of them and giving that I think there's a good chance they can get traded. I think it's a 100% chance. I think there's a 50-50, 25%, and 0%. So shout out to Devin. He's been making quizzes for me, tier list. He threw a bunch of players in here. So I don't know if there's rumors to everybody here, but it's like somebody that you can, all right, maybe there's a bigger picture behind this. So yeah, we'll go through it. If you guys do enjoy these tier list videos, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you agree with, what you disagree with. Maybe was there somebody I left out on this tier list that wasn't mentioned that you think could possibly get traded. So to start off, we'll go in order as Domantas Sabonis. I think Domantas Sabonis is a big enough name to be traded in the offseason. I think it would cost like knowing where the draft picks are, teams clearing up maybe salary cap, even though he's not making too much money, but I think this would happen in the offseason. I mean, you could say he was on the stature of maybe Vucevic in Orlando, and he got traded midseason, but I don't see Sabonis getting traded midseason this year. I think even Indiana may offload LeVert, Turner, Brogdon in the offseason and build around Sabonis and like Dorte and their pick this year and all that. So I think there's a chance because of the whole Shams reporting of the Pacers are going to be sellers. So I think there's a chance, but I don't really think it's going to happen. Miles Turner, though, I think has a very good chance of getting traded. Now, I'm not going to be boring. I'll make sure to have some guys in the 100% at the end that I think definitely will get traded. But right now, we're going to have Miles Turner there in 75%. Next up, we have Christian Wood. The Rockets are the worst team in the Western Conference, the third worst team in the NBA. There's a team that could value his contract, his scoring ability in the post. I think there's a 50-50 chance he gets traded. The Rockets may realize, all right, he's our best player. Should we really trade him when we're the worst team? But then on the other hand of it, it's like, all right, let's get value for him. Let's build up more draft capital for the future. Next up, we have Daniel Gafford. And I haven't really heard of Gafford rumors. I just kind of have like maybe some player articles up to the left here. And I've seen an article, like actually I did see this article that they could look to maybe use Gafford to get some bonus or something like that. I think maybe Gafford is a chance he can get traded as well because they do have a logjam at the 5 with like Brian and Harrell, just like in general. And they have Kuzma who's like the 4, so it's hard to find minutes there. Hashimura gets some 4 minutes. So, Gafford. Yeah, Gafford can go 50-50. I think there's a good chance Marcus Smart could get traded this year. I feel like the Celtics at the deadline, I mean, what, they're 1-22 right now? 21-22. They just lost to Philly the other night. Yeah, they could look to switch things up. Emmanuel quickly, I think this could happen if the Knicks like maybe target De'Aaron Fox or somebody like that. Maybe the Pacers would want him for Miles Turner. I don't think quickly gets traded at the deadline this year, though. Kevin Huerter just signed the contract extension in the offseason. I don't think he gets traded either. I think like Bogdan would get traded before him. Next up, we have, is that Doug McBuckets? I just want to double check that it's Dougie McBuckets. I'm like 99% sure it is, but like let me just kind of pull up his, yeah, it is. Okay, it's just the hair throwing me off. I don't know. He signed that extension with the Spurs in the offseason. He's played only 27 games this year. Good three-point shooter on a not great team that could look to maybe get a pick or two for him. I mean, these Spurs are 15-27. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he gets traded, but you never know. Next up, we have Cam Thomas. And I guess maybe this is, he showed some flashes, then that's maybe try to get a win now piece. I don't think he gets traded since he was just drafted. Jaylen Brown, 0% chance he gets traded from Boston. I don't think they make like a Damian Lillard play this year or even Bradley Beal. Therefore, I don't think he gets traded. I don't think that's what they want to do. Next up, we have Derek Favors of the OKC Thunder, a veteran that's not on a very good team that is on a 1-year contract, I believe. Teams might value his rebounding and a backup big. He's making a little bit of money, so it could be maybe hard to move him. I think there's a chance he gets traded. Veteran on a bad team. Those are always up there. Shake Milton. Maybe Shake Milton gets traded in a Ben Simmons package, but I wouldn't bet on it fully. I haven't really heard that. Jonathan Isaac, I don't think he gets traded. Oladipo, I don't think he gets traded. I haven't really been hearing a lot. DeJounte Murray, I mean, this would be a Ben Simmons thing, but I think the way he's playing, I don't even think they prefer Simmons over Murray, so I don't think he gets traded. Kobe White could be in a trade. I think there's a chance he gets traded, but maybe with the injury to Levine. I don't think Levine's going to be out long, but I think... I don't know. I don't see Kobe White getting traded this year. I don't really know what they would target. Maybe they target like a Derek White or somebody like that they can get. for Kobe White. I think that could be a potential suitor. I don't know. I'm kind of just like looking it up, and I don't know. Kobe White's a weird one. Let me know what you think down below about Kobe White. Next up, we have Taylor Horton-Tucker, and boy, I mean, apparently the Lakers didn't want to give him up for Kyle Lowry. I think there's a good chance THT gets traded just because his contract is nice enough, and I've been on air saying I thought it was an overpay. I didn't think he was really this good, and maybe a team wants him. I don't know. Maybe they trade him for KCP. I don't know. I really don't. Next up, we have Isaac Okoro. I'm also kind of like bad with faces, but so like I just kind of have something up on my left just to make sure. But yeah, it's Isaac Okoro. I mean, maybe this is like a, I don't know. Like I don't know why they would trade him. I don't really think he gets traded. Ben Simmons, I don't know. I really don't. I'm putting him up here. Don't worry. I'll put people up in the 100% later on. TJ McConnell. I don't know. Like a team would value him. I think maybe there's a chance TJ McCollum gets traded. I'll put him in the 50-50 veteran on a bad team. I mean, they just signed him in the offseason, and he's a good backup point guard. He plays good defense. He doesn't really turn the ball over. He gets steals and stuff. You know, he's a good defender, and he's a good backup point guard. He's smart. That's what you want. Maybe a team likes that. I don't think Chris Duarte gets traded at all. McCollum and Willard. Ooh. I don't think McCollum gets traded. I actually think there's a 0% chance these guys get traded throughout the season. I'm sorry, but I think it's what's going to happen. Next up, we have Jalen Johnson. I mean, I don't know. It's really like the Hawks realizing, oh, we're not doing that good this year. I think they're like 17 and God, they might be 17 and 24 now. And they're like, all right, we need to trade our young assets, but I don't think he gets traded. Wiseman, I don't see him getting traded. Beal, I don't see him getting traded. Next up, I believe that's Aaron Nesmith. Correct? Yep. I mean, maybe Aaron Nesmith gets traded like a Marcus Smart deal. I mean, he hasn't really shown any value to show that he was a lottery pick at one point. Yeah, you know, if there's a Smart deal and he's an attachment, I'll throw him in the 25%. Next up, we have DJ Augustine of the Rockets. He's been a good three-point shooter this year, but he hasn't really had a lot of playing time. I mean, maybe he's traded for, like, cash. Maybe, but I feel like he could be bought out or waived. So I don't really think he's going to get traded. Jeremy Grant, I think that's, like, up there with Christian Wood, and I honestly think there's maybe a better chance Jeremy Grant ends up getting traded maybe than Christian Wood. I do. So, you know, I'm going to put him up there because I think teams may value him and his defensive ability. TJ Warren. I mean, TJ Warren should get traded just because he's on the last year of his contract. If you really like him, Indiana, go sign him in the offseason again. He's out with health and safety. I mean, he's played 4 games this year. He came back from injuries and health and safety protocol since January 2nd. I mean, a team would give up probably a late first for him, right? Like, if you're Dallas, would you give up your first? Like, a top 20 protected first for him? Maybe. And then, hey, if you're like the 8-7 seed, you get to keep your first still. I think TJ Warren should definitely get traded this year. Mo Bamba, I think he has actually a 100% chance of getting traded. I think he will for either a late first or 2 seconds. I don't think Monk gets traded. I think he's been good enough to the Lakers where they need to value his skill set. Next up, we have Moses Moody, and I don't think he gets traded. I don't think the Warriors really make a big splash at the deadline. I think they're realizing, like, with Wiseman and Clay coming back, like, we're good enough. We're going to have 2-3 All-Stars in Curry, Wiggins, and Draymond. Like, we can win it all without having to trade our youngins. Wendell Carter Jr. just came off, I think, an extension with the Magic, so I don't believe he gets traded. Derrick Jones Jr. Oh, man, I don't know about Derrick Jones. These are, like very hard to predict ones. I don't think he gets traded, but, like, his contract could match up with some other teams. I mean, he has an injury. Like, he got, a bad injury the other day. I think with the injury, he's not going to get traded. PJ Washington could get traded. I think there's a chance he gets moved out of Charlotte. If Charlotte's maybe looking for more of a win now piece right now, maybe Charlotte's like trying to go after like a Jeremy Grant, and they're using PJ Washington and maybe like somebody else to get Jeremy Grant. Maybe it's PJ Washington and Kai Jones for Jeremy Grant. I don't know, but I think there's a good chance that PJ Washington could get traded. I don't think Dwight gets traded. I think like what the Lakers are going to end up doing is just looking at THT trades. Nobody's going to want Russ. I mean, maybe there's a small chance he's a throw-in. Cole Anthony, no shot. Gary Harris because of the money, but I think there's a chance he gets like bought out. I don't really think any team is really going to give up that salary for him. I don't think Love gets traded. I think they're doing well enough. I mean, there's always a chance Love gets traded, so I'll put him there in 25%. Next up, we have Trey Mann, who hasn't really gotten a lot of playing time this year, but since the Thunder just put a first-round pick on him, I don't think he gets traded. Robert Covington. Ooh. I really think Robert Covington, like, could be traded, especially if the, The Blazers aren't going to be really playoff contenders. They're the 11th seed. Dame's hurt. McCollum is coming back. I think there's a chance he gets traded. I'd put him in the 50-50 mark. Next up, we have Josh Jackson. I don't really see any team wanting Josh Jackson, really. Maybe he gets traded at the deadline. I don't think Bertans gets traded because of the contract. I don't think Williams gets traded. I don't think Kyrie gets traded. But De'Aaron Fox is one that's interesting because he was linked to Simmons rumors in the offseason. De'Aaron Fox is shooting 45% from the field, 25% from 3 this year. Has never really been able to solidify his three-point game after his sophomore year. He was a bearable 32% last year, but it's not great. And he's taking less threes this year. He's losing confidence. His field goal percentage is down. His free throw percentage looks like it's not going to top over 80 in his career, or at least so far in his career. He's at 5 assists, which is as low as it's been since his rookie year. I think there's definitely a big market for De'Aaron Fox, and there's possibility if they roll with the Halliburton and Mitchell backcourt. So I'm going to say there's a chance he gets traded, but I think like Sabonis, it's a big enough name where it would happen in the offseason rather than the regular season. DeLon Wright could possibly get traded this season. Karis LeVert, I think Karis LeVert's bound to get traded, right? I mean, the Pacers are doing so bad. He's got 1 year left. I mean, his efficiency's not been great, but I feel like teams would want him. It's just his contract being a big thing. I'm going to put him in the 50-50 mark, like McCollum, but I think Warren and... I don't know, but if Warren's, like, basically the same amount, you know what? I think he gets traded. I think there's a high chance. But, well, I don't know. There's, like, a DeLon Wright, same thing. Low chance. I don't think KCP gets traded unless they try a bigger deal. I don't think PJ Tucker gets traded. Let me just go off some of these guys that I don't think they're going to get traded. I don't think Derrick Rose gets traded. I think there's this very small chance Russell Westbrook gets traded because who the hell is going to want to trade for him? I don't think Oubre's going to get traded. I don't think John Wall, because of his contract, is going to get traded. Bol possibly. He already tried getting traded, so I'm throwing him up in 100. I think Kemba will definitely get traded by the deadline. Malcolm Brogdon, 0% chance because he can't get traded this year. Olynyk, possibly. Veteran on a bad team. Definitely a possibility. I think Bagley, right? You would think he's bound to get traded. I think Terrence Ross should get traded. I don't think Fultz gets traded. I don't think Sexton gets traded. Unless the team wants his bird right. So you never know. You never know. I'll put him there in that 25% because there's a possibility that ends up happening. Taurean Prince. I mean, I don't really know the market for Taurean Prince. Eric Gordon. He's been well this year. So I'm going to put him there in the 50-50. Good three-point shooter. I think teams would value that. It's just a contract that teams could be wary of. Larry Nance, if the Blazers are thinking about moving him, but they gave up a first-round pick from him in the offseason, I think, like, the Kings could get something for Buddy Hield. So I think there's a chance he gets traded. Valanciunas just signed an extension. He won't get traded. Danny Green, maybe he's a throw-in a Simmons trade, possibly. I think, like, Milton, that could happen. There's just so many names here, I know, right? Like, I really don't know what it comes down to. Langford, I think Langford could get traded. He could be like Aaron Nesmith and thrown in a smart deal. So I'm going to put him with like Aaron Nesmith right there when I say Nesmith. Nerlens Noel, I don't think gets traded. I don't think Siakam gets traded this year. Avery Bradley, maybe like the Dwight Howard case. Jackson Hayes, I don't know if the Pelicans make a move, but I don't know. Since Valanciunas is like going to be there a while, possibly. I think Derek White, there's always a possibility with him. Dennis Schroeder, I think, yeah, he could be traded. I think Goran Dragic is a very good chance he gets traded. I don't think Larry Markkinen gets traded just because he's signed and the Cavs are doing well. I don't think Gallo gets traded because of the contract. I mean, Thomas Bryant's only played 1 game this year. When was that 1 game? Did he just come back, or is this a random game? Yeah, no, he just came back. Okay, yeah. So I guess like the logjam, there's a chance he gets traded too. So I think they would value Gafford, but I guess Gafford has more trade value. Honestly, I think Bryant could get traded. Collins, maybe there's a Simmons deal out there, possibly. So I'm gonna put him in the like the 25% chance, but I don't think it happens because he just got that extension. Kuminga, I actually think there's a 0% chance that he gets traded. Josh Richardson. I mean, like, because I think the Celtics do make a move. Do they trade Smart? Do they trade Nesmith and Langford? Do they trade Dennis Schroeder? I don't know. I really don't. I don't think Richardson gets traded. I think he's been fine to them, honestly. Yeah, I don't think he ends up getting traded. Justin Holiday? I honestly could see Justin Holiday. I mean, like, what's the point, right? Keeping him, good three-point shooter, tradable contract. 50-50. I mean, I'm sure the Hornets would like to trade Mason Plumlee or find an upgrade, but I honestly don't think he gets traded. I also don't think Charlotte gives on James Bouknight this quickly either. There's a possibility like RJ Hampton could find a new like shooter, but I don't think it happens at this deadline. This is pretty much what I think is going to happen at this deadline. Like in the offseason, yeah, this is a different story, but I just think there's a 0% chance this happens at the deadline. Nasir Little would have some value. He would. I don't know if he'd get back up first round, but I know, no way. I think there's a chance. I don't know what Portland is going to be doing at the deadline. You would also like to think that Thaddeus Young would be traded. He really just hasn't played a lot this year. But some teams got to value him, like Phoenix for Sarge in a second. Like, that makes sense. I think there's a good chance he gets traded, too. Like, 50-50 is a good chance. Like, that's high. Davion Mitchell, I don't think there's any shot. I mean, I'm sure the Kings would like his percentages to be better overall from the field. Lonnie Walker, he has shown a lot of promise this year, more than we have seen so far from him. But his efficiency's still bad. Wow, a lot of people's efficiency's been bad. I mean, he's in the last year of his contract, so maybe a team does take a flyer on him. So I think there definitely could be a chance. Killian Hayes, man. I was a big Killian fan. I think he was my 4th rated prospect. Like, I hit very well on Halliburton, and I missed on Hayes. I don't think he gets traded at the deadline now. I don't think there's really any shot. I honestly don't think there's going to be, like, a market for Keon Johnson. Monty Morris would get the Nuggets a lot of value, but they want to compete still this year, so I don't think he gets traded. Corey Kispert, I don't think he gets traded unless the Wizards make a splash, but I just don't see a lot of these guys that went in the 2021 draft getting traded. I actually think there could be a Chris Boucher market out there. Even though Chris Boucher's 29, I think there's a chance he could get traded. And, like, same thing, I don't really think Zaire Williams gets traded this year either. So, yeah, this was a lot. If I am going to move anybody up to 100%, I don't know. I think maybe Turner. I can lock him in. I'll lock Warren in too. Actually, I'm not locking Turner in. I'll lock Warren in. I'll lock Terrence Ross in. And I'll lock Marvin Bagley in. Yeah, sure. Yeah, those are my 100% guys, so I don't really know. I really don't know what it's going to be like in the trade deadline. I think, like, these guys, there's a good chance, but we still don't know. These guys, I would not be surprised if they do or don't get traded. I wouldn't be, like, so surprised if these guys got traded, but I would be a little bit. 25%, and then I'd be very shocked if a lot of these guys got traded. And there's a chance, like, there's role players in here that do get traded, but I think the stars, like Beal, Brown, Lillard, Kyrie, they don't get moved. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you agree with and disagree with. Drop a like if you do enjoy. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.